The next thing we want to do is we want to slice the model. Now there's no slice option in this program. The option is print. So we'll click on print, and this is what we get. This is expert mode. Um, Most people probably never need to come out of basic or beginner mode, but I like to have expert mode open just in case I want to change something. So because this is the Keela Pro, we get this option up here at the top, print when slice is done. So it's checked, so when we slice this model, it'll automatically go to the printer and start heating up and start printing on its own. Alright, below that we have selecting your print profile. So it comes with two basic profiles, and then you can also customize a profile. I've already added a PLA Plus profile. If you click on custom profile, you just put in the profile name, and it starts with the profile that you're in. Then you just change the settings as you go. This box over here, standard, I don't know what that is, because that's the only option I see for anything on here. Okay, the operators, once you create a new profile, so I can click on that, PLA Plus, and I can remove it. I don't want to remove it, but I could. You can also, if someone shares a profile with you, you can import it, and you can also export a profile to share with someone. Or if you want to save it somewhere, that's fine too. Alright, next we'll go over the tabs. We have the general, perimeter, infill, supports, raft, additions, cooling, advanced, and others. So on the general tab, you got your layer height, your temperature, your print speed, and your retraction. Okay, nothing big here. Your layer height mode, you can change your layer height. You can change it to variable layer height, and then edit this and choose where you want to change what you want to change and where you want to change it. Maybe we'll do a different video on that sometime, but not right now. Okay, keep in mind, here's the tab where your base print speed is. This is important. The next tab is perimeter. These are your walls. I always like to do 4. I'll save that, so that now the Aquila profile for PLA has 4 walls. Start points, this is going to be where your vertical seam is, your Z seam as it's called in other slicers. I like to put it inside, so I'll put inner recess point. So it'll put it somewhere inside the model on an inner wall. Okay, speed over here, this is for your perimeter speed. It is going to be a percentage of your base print speed. Alright, same with your interior wall speeds. This is your infill tab with general infill information. Again, the speed of your infill, this is going to be right here. How much you want to, what your speed you want to be. This is interesting down here, infill, strength infill. I'll go over this in another video, but you can add a solid layer at specific layer heights of your model to make it stronger. So, and we'll do an unscientific video. Alright, supports. Now, because we did supports, right now there's no supports on the model because that's how it's supposed to be printed without supports. So we turn it off. But if you auto-generate supports and you want supports on your model, you still have to come in here and hit yes. Otherwise, it's going to slice without the supports. Okay, and then these are all your support settings. These are your raft settings. I'm not going to go over these. Additions. Pre-extrusion, this is important. This is purging your nozzle. So I do it all the time. This is the equivalent of having a start G-code to prime the nozzle. So margin is going to be how far away from the object your prime line is going to be. And then the path length is going to be how long that line is going to be. And then your print speed of that line. Wall, I'm not going to go over that. We're not dual extruding. Brim, you only use this if you need to. Just make sure generate brim inside holes unless you specifically need a brim inside of a hole and it's big enough to where the brim, because right now it's a 5mm brim, so if your hole is tiny, you're going to basically fill your hole. We won't go over wiping tower. We won't need that. Cooling, these are your cooling settings. You always want it on, off. You always want it off when you're printing ABS. I like to have it on to a preset height, and I have it be the layer height. That way it's off on the first layer but comes on the second layer. This reset temperature at heights, this is for a temperature tower. I'll do a separate video on that later. On the advanced tab, I always have bridging settings on, and then your path width, this is your line width. I have it stay the nozzle width. Some people like to do it wider. I don't. Your extrusion ratio, that's the same thing as flow or extrusion multiplier in other software. The default is 96%, and this seems to work pretty good with every filament I've used so far. I've used 4 different types of PLA from different manufacturers, and 96% has just worked every single time. So I'll leave it as that. Okay, others, if you're printing for dimensional accuracy and you're not quite getting there, this is where you'll want to make those adjustments. And then sequential printing, I'm only printing one object. I'll go over this another time. I'll do a separate video on that. Okay, so once you're done, right now I don't want to print the benchy, so I'm going to just deselect print when slice is done. But if you have that selected, you'll slice it and it'll send it to the printer. Well, actually, let's do that because I can always stop it. Okay, so I'm going to hit OK to slice. It's going to ask you to save it. It always asks you where you want to save it on your computer. So I'll just save it. It's going to slice. Then it's going to send it to the printer. So let's watch. Okay, it's done slicing. Then just send it to the printer. There you go. So it is now sending it, and there we go. Your printer's ready. So it is now going to start heating up. I'm actually going to stop this before it heats up all the way, but we'll just leave it here for now. Up on the left-hand corner is all your slicing information, your print time, and your weight estimation gives you your weight and filament. Slice information gives you your slicer settings. If you're currently printing something and you go to slice this, it's not going to let you. Here, let's do this. So let me show you. Let's slice it again. Okay. It's going to tell you the printer's busy and it's pending. So it's not, as far as I know, it's not going to queue it, because after your print's done, you want to remove what's on your bed before you go start another print. So it gives you that warning. But when it is ready, you can open up this slicer if you've closed it and just hit send G code after you connect to the printer, and then it'll send the G code to the printer. So it's very good. Over here on the left side, you can look at your layers, see what's going on your print. You can type in the layer height you want to look at, just hit enter, and it'll go down to that layer. Alright, so I'm going to stop this print. Yes, I want to abort the print. I'm going to disconnect the printer because I'm done. And I hope this was useful to someone. Like I said previously, I've had really good luck with this slicer. All my prints have come out good, if not exceptional. I've used Cura for 4 years, and it's clunky and just, you know, I have not gotten as good a print from Cura as I have from this slicer. So I recommend people use this slicer. Alright, check back in for future videos.